I'm 1st District Councilman James Brown. Thanks for joining me for another council comment. Today we're talking about the Roots and Heritage Festival, and today I'm joined by Kim Baird.
Yes, that's it.
She's actually the chair of the festival and has been since, how long have you been the chair of the festival?
I think year 14.
Year 14?
Yeah, on my temporary basis, yes.
Temporary, okay, yeah. So everybody knows how that happens.
Yes.
You get voluntold to do something
Correct.
temporarily, and then all of a sudden it's your vocation until somebody
Correct.
else gets voluntold to
That's
take it on.
correct. That's correct.
This year is a special year. It's a big year. 30 years of this festival being in downtown Lexington. Has it always been in the East End neighborhood from its inception? Has it always been on
Yes,
Entry Lane?
it has. And actually our very first year, the cold rainy year that we had it actually went from 3rd to 4th Street. And I remember us having to mark tape for the vendors and everything like that. We were in that one area. And then we moved to Dunbar Community Center, and we were set up in the gym and in the grass there just because it was so rainy. And then after that, we have kind of expanded from 4th all the way to Short Street and got 2 stages, but it's always been right here, which is also a source of discussion when we talk about moving it.
Yeah, I've heard some of those conversations too, and you know there are people that feel very strongly about whether we should move it or not move it. Mm-hmm. If you want my opinion, and you probably don't, but I think it belongs in this neighborhood, and I don't think it should be moved. If anything, I think we ought to expand it. Maybe instead of going further down Elmtree Lane, maybe we ought to start closing off more of 3rd Street.
You're on the council, and y'all can talk about closing all those streets, because that's kind of a little source of discussion too, about closing off streets around here.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you that I think it belongs here. It's been here. That was the point of having it here to begin with, the historic nature of it. But because of that, we're very much getting landlocked in here.
Yeah.
And so it makes it hard to expand and be able to have where people can come in and out of their homes, where it's not a hazard, a safety hazard because of, being landlocked in. So that's some of the challenges we're having. So everybody wants it bigger and better, but with that comes, some other issues.
More challenges.
Right.
Okay. So before we start talking more about this year's festival, let's talk a little bit about the history of it. Was this a grassroots community initiative to get this festival going? Is that how it started, or did it come from city government, or where? I mean, where did the idea of this festival originate, and who was really the folks pushing to make it happen?
It actually was a couple of things happening. There was a group of individuals, Catherine Warner, who was our original chair, Ed Holmes, Chester Grundy. There was an initial group of individuals who wanted to start a festival, and they wanted it here in this historic area. About the same time, Mayor Basler was here and had a block grant. And then he had contacted the Ohio Street Neighborhood Association. So they just kind of paired and partnered together, and created the festival at that time. Okay. So that was the idea was happening in 1988, and then 1989 was our first official festival.
Okay. Well, I think it adds to some of what makes the festival special, is that it started from a community level and grew into this partnership between the city, between the festival, and now after not after, but this being the 30th year of it, I think it just shows that Lexington has something that's really special and really growing, and then that the community gets behind.
Yes.
I know when I was a teenager, we had certain events that we made sure that we hit every year. Soul Fest, which I don't think exists anymore, was one of them. Roots and Heritage was one of them. Charlotte Court Days, and then we had the Dirt Bowl. And I mean, it was several more, but Roots and Heritage was one of the ones that we look forward to, because it was after school started. We were back at school, mad, and then we had this big activity, this big festival that we could always look forward to attending. Talking about this year, what can we expect to happen this year? What's the lineup? I know the dates is September the 7th through the 9th.
That's our kickoff weekend, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay, what can we expect on Friday? Friday night is when it starts.
Okay. And that's jazz and blues. That's always our jazz and blues night. And it will be, we are still in the process of finalizing everybody's contract. And so I won't say all the specific groups for each of those nights, but on Friday night, our headliner is Omar Cunningham, who we've apparently been trying to get since last year. So apparently he's a big name and is very excited about coming. So he will be our headliner for Friday. We start at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and then we will go to about 11.
Okay. Yeah, I know Friday night. Some people kind of look forward to Saturday being the big day. But when I came down last year on Friday night, it was a big crowd. I mean, the stage was set up. Folks had their lawn chairs out in the street, and it was a pretty big crowd and real good participation for the first night. Now, what about Saturday? What's Saturday shaping up to look like?
Saturday we will start, and I'll say Friday the vendors will start at noon actually, and then we'll go to 11 also.
Okay.
So on Saturday the vendors will come, and they can come as early as they want, to start setting up, and they'll go to 11. And then we will have our parade that will start at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we will have our opening stage that starts at 4.
Okay.
And then we'll go, and that's kind of R&B night. We've got a variety of things happening, but generally R&B. We might have a special guest appearance, a tribute to Aretha Franklin. We're working on that.
Okay.
And then our headliners will be Public Announcement and Gap X the band, which is the original members of the Gap band, minus Charlie Wilson.
Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds like an exciting day. I know the parade is always a big thing. I know the neighbors line up. I know, I participate in a lot of parades, but none of them really have the community feel like the Roots and Heritage Parade. The community really comes out and supports this parade as as it goes through the neighborhood.
Yes.
And it's at 1 o'clock this year.
It's at 1.
I think last year was 1 o'clock, so that's a later start, and I think a lot of people really like that. I think.
Yes, we always have to finagle around the UK games. So when it's late at night or away like it is this year, it's great because we can set the time. It was noon a couple years ago, and that was a headache.
Yeah.
So we always have to kind of figure out, depending on when the game is.
Yeah, and it's a big game this year. I think they play Florida, but
that's has been the last few years. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So well, maybe we'll have to talk to somebody about that. See if they can't get a less popular opponent. But all right. So at 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna throw this in there for the Urban League. I know the Urban League is it's partnered with Visit Lex. And they're going to do a historic marker unveiling between the parade and when the stage opens. I think that's going to take place at 3 o'clock right here in the median on Elmtree, right across from the Lyric. So I think that's going to also be a special event that will also enhance the experience this year. And then at 4 o'clock the stage opens, so everything will be on and popping by then. 4 o'clock, all the vendors will be up, and the stage will be rocking and rolling.
Yes.
And then what can we expect on Sunday?
On Sunday we have our gospel explosion that's coming, and we will be inside the Lyric. That was our way to partner. We were here when they turned the lights on. Okay. When they first opened it up, and so that was our way to have events in there to partner with us. And I think people like. I know some people will like it outside, but it gets hot and sometimes it got rainy, so we moved inside. I like that much better. And so we will start at 4:30 on Sunday, and we will go probably till about 6:30 or 7, and we have a large lineup of individuals that will come, and a special combined choir that will be our featured act at the end, and have quite a few little surprises in there as well. So we've got some youth participating and everything like that.
I tell you what, you keep your cards pretty close to your chest with all these surprises. So
because I want people to come down and I want people to see, as opposed to now. I will say, you can always get on the website. We will post the lineup on the website, and we will post it on Facebook. We have Kids Fest that will also be on Saturday from noon to 5, where the kids can come, and it's activities specifically for them, which will be down at Short Street. We have our upstage for the youth stage that's down there at Short Street. People can participate on that, so they can hop on the website and see all of that as well.
Now, was there a youth stage last year?
Yes, it's always down there at stage 2.
So it's always down there.
And then we actually have something new this year on the following week, September the 15th. I wanted to kind of do a science summit for young people. My daughter loves science, and she likes more that are hands-on, and so I wanted to create a summit where these, particularly children in these areas that they don't necessarily get to come to because of cost or transportation or whatever. And so we're going to do we partner with UK, Kentucky State. There's a whole bunch of local groups that are going to come and put on some hands-on experiments for the kids. We'll do that on the 15th, and that information is also on the website.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like you're always looking for a way to improve and change and add to the event. You brought up a real interesting fact. I hate to keep plugging people's birthday, but this year is also the Lyric's 70th anniversary from when it first opened till today. But you said that when they first clicked the lights on, when they the rebirth of the Lyric about 7 years ago, it was during Roots and Heritage Festival.
Yes, they did that. We were on stage and we did a countdown and then turned the lights on. And I was excited about that because I had never been in there. You just hear, you know, I remember when it was just an abandoned building and you just hear all the stories. So when those lights went on, it was a great feeling for me.
Yeah, I heard it was. You know, I wasn't here when that happened, but I'm like you. Growing up, all I knew it was an abandoned building, and to have it restored and seeing all the activity in it now, it's something really special. And for it to first happen at the Roots and Heritage Festival made it even, you know, more of an event that this community could celebrate. The Lyric is also looking for, you know, opportunities to do more and partner with Roots and Heritage Festival. So I'm glad to hear that, you know, that y'all are working with the Lyric to do more, to bridge that relationship and opportunities in the space, in the theater and out on the street. Tell a little bit about if folks want to still get involved with being a part of the parade or being a vendor down at the festival. Where would they find information to either sign up or to contact someone about being a part of the Roots and Heritage Festival this year?
They can hop on our website. We try to make it as easy as possible. Those veterans know to just send something into our P.O. box. We've got the parade and vendor applications online, so you can fill it out online or you can print it and mail it in.
Okay. Now, what about those folks that always say, you know, it'll be good if Roots and Heritage had this, or Roots and Heritage did this, or have they ever thought about including this, and why don't they bring this person to town? Folks that are interested in being a part of the planning and the execution of the event, how does one get involved with being a part of the festival in its planning stages? Are there opportunities for that?
Absolutely. Send an email to me on our website or on Facebook, and I've added a couple people that do that as well. We will add you to the volunteer list and help with that. I do get that a lot, you know, where people will say, you know, well, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? And we have a very, very small group of volunteers, not getting paid, volunteers, who all have full-time jobs. And so we luckily, because the festival and its age, it kind of runs itself a little bit, but we need help, absolutely. And so we would love to have people that will come and either help on existing committees or really to come and bring ideas and agree to chair, you know, something else. Like we used to have the step show and we had old timers basketball and things like that. We just don't have the manpower to keep that going.
Yeah. And I think you make a real valid point. There's volunteers that help make this happen. I think some of it is just education. Some people doesn't necessarily know that the Roots and Heritage Festival, it's its own nonprofit.
Correct.
That handles it with the help of volunteers. A lot of folks think it's the city. Some people think it's the Lyrics initiative.
Right.
But you know, a lot of times, you know, I think people, you know, they want to see the event improve. They want to see it grow, and they have ideas. And I think, you know, I think your festival committee is open to it. You just have to come and be a part of it and share it.
Right.
But then, you know, the old saying is, anytime you got an idea, you ought to be ready to jump in and make it happen.
Correct.
Don't just set it on somebody else's desk.
That would be correct.
And walk away.
Correct.
You know, I'd like to say, you know, thank you for your commitment and your dedication to the festival. It's, you know, it's grown, it's continued to happen, and it's continued to be a landmark event and opportunity in this community that benefits, you know, our whole city. So thank you for your work and dedication to it. I know it's several departments in the city that also contributes. I know the guys from Waste Management and the ladies, they're always out here. Park and Recreation is a part. Our partners in public safety, the police and fire department, they're always on deck for the event. So, you know, I think this is a great collaboration between city government, the community, and community partners making this event happen. So please come out September the 7th through the 9th and celebrate Lexington's African American community at the Roots and Heritage Festival. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, and it's free. Yeah. And I have to tell people all of that, you know, and they'll ask, why don't you bring this, you know, artist or this artist? Because they're not free. And so it's very hard to, we have to have certain parameters and a certain budget in order to keep this free. So people will go and spend 40, 50 bucks on a ticket someplace to Louisville and Cincinnati and buy a new outfit and spend all the gas or whatever, but you can come here for free. So I would love to have, my dream is Earth, Wind, and Fire. And so maybe when I do my mic drop, that's who I have, but I don't have the money for that right now. But what we do have is love of the community. You've got volunteers who love coming to make it work. And I did say temporary, and then I stand on stage and I see all the thousands of people out there and I say, okay, you got one more year with me. That doesn't mean I'm not ready to give it up. I'm just saying that's kind of why you still do it, and that's why the volunteers do it. And so we want everybody to come out and support and, and just have fun. And so I know it's not going to please everybody, but, it's here, it's in your community, it's free. We don't have to have it. So we would love people to come out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think we have to have it.
If we all walk away.
Oh yeah.
Then
no, it's gotta be some folks
then it's
ready
gone.
Ready to step up and be a part of it.
That's correct. So people just say, "Well, I don't come." Well, okay, then you won't have anything.
Yeah, we need you to come. All right, I appreciate you joining me today. Thanks for all you do, and I'll look forward to seeing you this year at Lexington's Roots and Heritage Festival.
Look forward to having you here.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.